Alright, there it is. The tender is done other than the decal. I haven't printed that yet. It started out as this. I put a grate that came off the side of a Union Pacific train, diesel. I put detail on the back. Put the ladder there. It's even got, I'll give it a little power. It's got tail lights. I'm gonna hooked up to power right now, so just tweak it a little bit. It's got whatever the hell is in there, some sort of place to stand. I put some little raised decals that look like it's vinyl underneath that paint. Looks like a hatch or something. I don't know what the hell it is. Right there. It's got stairs in the back of the tender. There's a 2-wire prong plug I put in the bottom of the train. Get that wire out of there. Sorry about, oh, I have the wire hooked up. There's a 6-pin Molex plug in there because eventually I'm going to add DCC. So I installed the plug, but I'm only using 2 terminals for the wiring in the back. Still have to paint the trucks and get rid of one of the wheel sets in the back. So I painted these trucks. I'm not going to pull it apart, but you can see some of the wiring tucked in there. There's some steel in there and some lead for weight. I am waiting for a set of drivers. One of these drivers hobbles a little bit, so the train kind of goes up and down a little bit. Other than that, I put green lights in the front there on the pods. Those little light pods are made out of crazy glue and baking soda. So there's three little tiny LEDs. The headlight, the train number 3 decal that I printed myself. Just to remind you, that's all wrap material. Did not paint that. The color was dark burgundy and rust orange. Was the color. I put the black stripe, I don't know if you can see it at the bottom here, that's paint. The Hiawatha logo. I just need the one for the tender. The top of the lettering in the tender is a little bit too big. I may do it over, I may just leave it alone. I mean, I'm not a rivet counter. Obviously, I made this all out of junk. I added ladders in the back. This thin piece is a lexan going from the ladder sides up the back of this, so it won't snap off. And then, of course, this baking soda and crazy glue over that, so it's pretty strong. The LED came off the front of a Rivarossi, the lens. This is a piece of black shrink wrap cut at an angle. The top of this is all baking soda and crazy glue. That was a nightmare to drill through. This piece here is lexan. The whole shell is lexan. The top of this is a piece of PVC. That was actually soft PVC. It's called Centra or something like that. It's pretty easy to shape. All the detail on the top was done with, I cut vinyl. There's a couple layers of it on there to make it thick. I heat shrunk it because vinyl likes to shrink before I sprayed it. That's that. Same with the side pieces, all that is vinyl. You could pick it off with your fingernail if you wanted to be a jerk. I did not epoxy paint this. I didn't have any left, or I would have sprayed it with epoxy, and at that point it would have hardened like steel. I put the I did a horrible job though lining it up. The rails going down the side, I have not done the ones on the nose. I actually don't like the way they look, but I will put them on there. I just haven't done it yet. So she runs. She needs the Hiawatha logo in the on the back of the I mean in the middle of the tender there. I should have printed the logo on this print, and it slipped my mind, and I had already printed it, and I was in a hurry to get out of work. It was very late when I printed that. So I will I'll print the logo separately and slap it on there. So that's that. It does run. It hasn't been on since the shell has been on. It hasn't been on the track. The chassis has been tested. It does work. As you can see it. It hobbles a little bit. One of the drivers is a little off. I do have brand new sets. I just don't have one. I have a bunch of these I bought. They're not cheap. The only thing I don't have the set that has the groove cut out for the tire. So I'm waiting to find a set of those. But it doesn't hobble this much on the track because it's actually the flange that's jacked up and not so much the wheel. One of these flanges has got a flat spot in it, but it doesn't affect it when it's on the track itself. So there you have it. Still got to paint the center of these wheels. I haven't painted these because I'm going to replace them. So there's no sense in wasting my time. But that's that. So those are the lights on the front end. See them? I'm going to put a little bit more black paint underneath, some lights coming through the crazy glue. See it right down there? I'll put a little bit more black paint on that. So, anyway, that's it. So, the bottom of the tender is Rivarossi. This section here came off of a Rivarossi. The rest of it was a tyco Mantua. One of these. I don't even know what you call that. The top of this was off of a Rivarossi, one of these from Union Pacific. I filled the holes with crazy glue and baking soda and just belt sanded the thing down, took all the detail off of it. It was not a fun project. I don't know what kind of plastic these things are made out of, but they're strong as hell, to say the least. So, as you see on this section here, there's a cutout. What I did was I put masking tape over it, flipped it on its side, and sprinkled a little bit of baking soda down, just a very, very fine dusting, and then super glue, and then more baking soda and super glue and more baking soda. Between building the last 2 trains I've done this month, I have used maybe 35 tubes of super glue. When you use super glue and baking soda and you have to grind it down or sand it, it's one thing to sand it by hand, but if you're going to use a tool like a Dremel or anything else, you're going to want to wear a mask. The stuff is probably toxic. I was actually overcome by it last night by sanding, grinding with the Dremel. So I wouldn't recommend anybody do that. It'll be the last time I do it without a mask. So that's it. It took a week working on this thing after hours at night to complete. It needs a little bit more touch up, but she's basically done other than changing the wheels. Eventually I'm going to add DCC in it, like I said. That's the reason why it has that plug on the bottom of it. So there you have it. So see, anyway, it's kind of fun running it without being on the rails. Anyway, have a good night. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm probably going to look for another train to build now. Thank you for watching.